All right, well, welcome to the Fast Forwarded Live. Today we're going to be working on 3 Christmas trees, which I've already done. Now, there was a few little mistakes on them, so I just washed them all off, and you can kind of see how it does leave a bleeding mark. Now, I did wax this, but these are a one-time use surface, so that is known to happen. Now I'm just going to go ahead and mix up my paste. You want to make sure it's a yogurt consistency, and when you put water into it, make sure it's a distilled water because tap water can hold bacteria, which will make it moldy. So now you're just going to pull up from the middle, add some lint onto your transfer. Go ahead and stick it on there. This is the tricky part. You want to make sure it's even, and you want to make sure there's no air bubbles. Now these are silkscreen transfers. You can use them 8 to 12 times or more if you take good care of them. Now I'm just using my dry squeegee to kind of push out any air bubbles that might be in there. And I'm just going to slosh on some chalk paste. Now you can work from the bottom up, top, bottom, side to side, however you want, but remember that the direction in which you're going will most likely show up on the finished product. You just want to make sure you're getting all your edges and everything else excess. Just go ahead and stick it right back in the jar by pushing down firmly, gliding, and then swooping up. Once you're done that, you're going to pull, and there you go. That's it. Now the edges there where it's a little bit white, you can just take a fine brush and just finish it off. Or if you want, just wash it off and redo it. Now we're going to work on the second tree. I slapped down the paste there because I could feel that it was built up against the lid. Go ahead, stir it up, make sure it's a yogurt consistency, add some water as needed. And you also want to have a little bit of a dribble. Not too much because then it will be too thin for you to pick it back up, all the excess, but just enough. Sorry, my head's in the way there. So go ahead and line up your transfer. Make sure it's even, no air bubbles. As you can see, there was a little dry paste there. Just make sure there's none of that there because you're going to have a mark. Using your squeegee once again, working your way from the bottom, going up. Like I said before, you can do it in whichever direction you want to go. This is my favorite part. I love this part. Now, I wasn't a big fan of the swirls until I revealed it, and I was like, whoa, I'm a huge fan of it now. Look at that. Beautiful. Now I'm spraying some water onto my transfer so that the chalk paste doesn't dry. You don't want it to dry in the silk screen. So now I'm just going to put the excess off the stir stick back into the jar, screw that up tight, open up the teal. As you can see, I'm running out of water. I almost dropped my water bottle. Go ahead, turn it or stir it. You want that yogurt consistency with a little bit of dribble, and you're pulling from the middle. You don't want to distort the transfer. Adding some lint. And if you don't have a lint cloth, you can use your couch, you can use a towel, anything that just puts a little bit of fabric on it. And then just go ahead and line it up on your surface. So once again, making sure there's no air bubbles, I'm using a dry squeegee. Now all the product I'm working with today is Chalk Couture. If you'd like to know more, head over to chalkcouture.ca/chalkaboutit2019 and you can get a lot of more info from there. Now I'm just adding some of the couture teal, making sure I'm getting the dots there at the bottom, gliding up, excess back in the jar. Now, I probably put the excess back in the jar too soon because I'm running into a little bit of a snag there to the left. I'm running out. So, don't worry, you have a lot left in the jar. So you can always go back. And like I said before, if you don't like it, just erase it and start over. This is one of my most favorite hobbies to do. It's probably my only hobby I've found that I actually want to stick it out with, because it's relaxing, it's enjoyable, and it's affordable. You can either sign on as a designer and sell it yourself, or you can sign on as a hobbyist. So there we go. I finished that, and if you'd like to know more, just make sure you send me a message through private messenger or comment. Thanks for watching.